Hey guys, it's me Arthur and you're watching How to Draw Creepy Creatures. Now if you watched the previous video, you'll know that November is Native American month in honor of Thanksgiving. So last time we did the water babies of Nevada, that was good, but today we're going to cover a kind of more obscure topic known as the White Death. Now the White Death is a legend from the US-Canadian border and the Native American tribes around that area. It apparently is a cat, a snow-dwelling cat that likes the mountains and the cold area, of gigantic proportions, that is known to hunt humans, hence the name. And as you might have guessed, it's supposed to be white or whitish in color, sometimes with stripes. Now, in the legend, it gains a stripe for every person it kills. Now, even though this animal was known to the Native Americans through their oral traditions and their regional mythology, in the 20th and 21st centuries, there have been reports and sightings of it. And people who weren't familiar with the legend even reported it, and they claimed that it looked like a saber-toothed tiger, only whitish in color. There's been some speculation that it might, if it exists, it might be a relative of the Siberian tiger, and it's just sort of hidden out in the Canadian wilderness. The others point to a more prehistoric origin. Nobody really knows. I mean, for all we know, it could just be misidentified animals or something like that, but it's interesting. And it is a part of their folklore, which is why I'm putting it on this show. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to turn the paper this way because of the body proportions, so it'll be easier to draw. Okay. Okay, this would be a good thing to do because I don't think I did an episode on how to draw cats, except for maybe the Manticore episode, but that was more ape-like or human than feline. And doing an episode where we're drawing a feline is good practice because it's a very different type of body shape. Kind of do like squarish paws. In fact, some have pointed out the numerous disappearances in the Canadian wilderness, saying, "Ha! You see that? That's proof that that must be there. All those people are disappearing." But even though that's an interesting theory, it's the Canadian wilderness. It's dangerous. People are going to go missing. I don't think that you necessarily need an undiscovered predator to explain that, but people will attach evidence to whatever they like. Okay, I'm actually going to make the tail a little bit longer because even though it's sort of supposed to look like a saber-toothed tiger, I imagine that since it's living up in the mountains and stuff like that, it would probably need a longer tail to use as a counterbalance, kind of like a snow leopard. So you can do whatever you want, but I'm just thinking that that's what makes the most biological sense, so that it could scale these high mountain areas. Kind of do short ears because animals that live in very cold areas, you'll notice that their ears are kind of short and not very pointy like what you would expect with cats because it's less to get frozen off. Okay, right, and there's the basic muscle and bone structure. Now, let's get into some of the finer details. Let's start with the face. Kind of just do an upside down triangle for the nose. Kind of draw a rectangle here. Draw a line where the eyes should be. I'm gonna have the mouth slightly open so I can show off the teeth. do markings here. You notice that a lot of cats have like markings like that around their faces. Gonna make it very bushy, like it probably has very thick fur. Alright, and big saber-toothed tiger type fangs. Gonna get very big paws. Paws that look like they're made for scaling mountains. Make it very muscular. Almost give it like bear-like proportions, because it would have to be very big, very bulky to survive in that environment. And see if I should add a little bit more fur around the feet, because you often see that in animals looking in these conditions. very long, very thick tail. Alright, let's start with those stripes. Even the stripe part of this legend kind of makes sense, because if it's living in a semi-forested area with a lot of snow, it would need to blend in to sort of melt away into the shadows. In fact, there was a period where a snow leopard wasn't actually observed in the wild for a whole 40 years because they're so elusive. So an animal like this could, in theory, stay hidden from science for a very long time. So maybe there really is a White Death. Who knows? It's food for thought either way. Kind of do a irregular dappled pattern. I kind of imagine like a cross between stripes and spots. That doesn't look quite right. Okay. I'm gonna kind of add footprints. Oops. In fact, I think it'd be kind of cool to have it sort of standing on top of the snow, so I'm gonna have snow covering up its feet just a little bit. snow falling. Sign up with the artist mark. And you have just drawn the White Death. Alright, you guys, like, share, and subscribe. And remember, November is Native American month. However, if you have a suggestion for a creature, Native American or otherwise, just leave it in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you. Also, anybody who finished a lesson on the show and liked to show off your artwork, you can send it to me at arthurwrotethis@gmail.com. And as long as you include your written permission in the email, I will show it off on the show with your name so everybody knows that you did it. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and happy Thanksgiving.